always like that. Got my foot. Okay, I thought I could only do it up and down. Trying to make sure. Hold on a second. No, that wouldn't work. That seems better. Yes, I like that. I'm gonna do that. Okay. So I do check my comments. I do. Sometimes I'll be a little nervous, but I do check my comments. And someone had commented and said, to if I would keep doing videos, encouraging videos, because you never know who may be watching. I don't know about any of you, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who do the same thing I do. I go on YouTube, especially for advice or to see what other people's journeys are like, and I'm looking to see if there's anyone else out there who whose story resonates with mine, who has been through the experiences that I've been through, especially when I'm having a tough time. And you see them telling you their story and what they're going through and how they're hurting, but then you see, oh, that was like 3 years ago or however long that video was, and then you start searching their page to see what their update, did you come out on the other side, did you make it, did you press, did you push? And so I wanted to I do want to make this video because another year has passed since my oh, I must accept it's over video. And I just, not only do I want, if anyone comes to this channel and they see the videos and me over the years, and if they go through my videos and they see the personal journey that I had with the end of my marriage, I want them to be able to find a video to see where I was and to come and see where I am now, so they know that, oh, I can make it. Because we all get into our emotions, and I tell you, I had days where I would just be driving to work and I would say to myself, you know what, Lord, if you took me now, I would just go ahead and take me now. I don't want to keep going. Just end it right now. But if you're watching this, I just want to say it's okay to be afraid. People say don't be afraid to start over. And they're right. There's no need to be afraid. But if you are, it is okay. It is absolutely okay to be afraid of what you don't know. But don't let that fear stop you from getting up every day, from continuing to choose to live and make those decisions, even about the mundane stuff, about what you're going to wear or what you're going to eat. Keep getting up. Don't make any rash decisions when you're emotional. I say sleep on it. Sleep on it, because every day new mercies I see. Okay? And it's all a part of the process. If I would have stopped, if I would have taken my life, and I really don't feel like I have the guts to do that, honestly. I tried doing it when I was a teenager, like taking a whole bunch of pills and hoping that I wouldn't wake up. It didn't work, clearly. But it's a part of the process. And these videos are also for me because I don't want to take for granted where God has brought me from. I don't want to take for granted the people that have sown into my life and encouraged me to say, you're going to make it. You will be okay. You will get through this. A lot of those comments came from my YouTube family and the people who have followed me on my channel. They commented and they said, hey, we've been through it, but you will get through it. You deserve better. Just be about you and your daughter. God's got you. And I just want to be here to pay it forward for someone who is going to need this video. So I was, me and my friend China, we had a conversation today. We was on the phone for over 2 hours, and the reason why I came onto YouTube really so strongly about my personal life was because I had really made my whole life about Brandon and Layla. And I specifically remember him saying, we can't be your whole life. How he handled that still isn't right. You know what I mean? But There was truth to that. And he was really the, like I even said in a video 4 years ago this month that he was the best person in my life. I was like, he's the best person in my life. I talked to him about, he was my best friend. I didn't have anyone else to confide in. And when he pulled away, I didn't know where else to turn. I didn't know what to do. So I came on here. But now my China, who I consider to be my best friend, we were talking, and she said, we're going to Scene 75 this weekend, her and her family. And she was like, I was going to invite you, but, and I was like, man, I'm so busy. And she said, that's why I said I was going to invite you. And I was like, girl, do you know how different this is from me 2 years ago? Oh, I was like, 2 years ago, I didn't have anything going on a weekend. I didn't have anything going on. And it made me think, this time 2 years ago, I had driven out to Dayton to pick up my dog at the time, Oliver. And by the way, Oliver is doing great. I just spoke with his new owner that I sold him to on Sunday. And he's moving to Boston. They're moving back to Boston. So he's doing great. But I went to pick him up from my daughter's grandmother's house. And I remember while we were there, I was moping and saying how, I was trying to guess who the woman was that Brandon was with. And, his mom and sister were kind of looking at each other, and she was like, well, I don't know anything. Now I know that that wasn't the truth. And she was, no, Brandon had told her to talk to me because he needed my help paying the bills. And I was like, why don't he get the woman he's with to pay the bills, since like, what am I, like, you won't be with me, but you'll take my money. Like, I was just upset. I was like, I want to work with him, I do, but he's over there having an affair. Am I the only one noticing this? Like, but by the time I left, I reneged and I was like, you're right, and I moved my half of the money over for a bill. The next morning, I'm home, and he and I were in the living room with Layla, and I had just bought her bed that I still have, and I was looking at it, trying to see what the directions say about putting it together. And uh, I told him I moved the money over for the bill, and he was like, "Well, that money is gone." I was thinking maybe he'd say thank you, but and then he asks me. He says, are you going to be okay with me leaving again this weekend? And I should have just said, yeah, I'll be okay. Yeah. If it was, look, if sometimes I wish I could body my past person and be like, yes, I'm okay. Take your ass on out. Goodbye. But we can't. But sometimes, don't you just wish you could just body your younger self and be like, to some people who was just not, oh, I just wish I could. Anyhow. And I was like, what wife who cared about her husband and loved him would sit there and say, yeah, I'm okay with you leaving me to be with another woman. And I told him, I said, stop. You don't care if I'll be okay. You still gonna do what you're gonna do anyway. Don't. And then, of course, he left, and I proceeded to sit in the apartment and be depressed and sad. And that's when I got the call, and it was on March. It was no, yeah, it was on the. It was, I believe it was March 1st. I got the call about how they had an opening for me to move into this apartment, my apartment now, and here I am 2 years later, and it is completely different. And it hurt so bad then. It hurt so bad. I was so, like, I felt like gripped by it. I remember I had nightmares, and I remember I even called him. I said I couldn't sleep. I had a nightmare about what's happening. I was so distraught. And even after I moved out and I moved into this place, still for months, I couldn't sleep. And I would have bad dreams. And it hurt so bad in the beginning. But here I am. And I was afraid. I was afraid of being on my own, without his help, that I wouldn't, that I wouldn't be able to step up and be that mom and take care of things on my own without him. I was scared to be alone, because when you're alone, you have to really deal with yourself and learn who you are. This is the first opportunity. I'm 31 years old. This is the first opportunity that I have to be by myself on my own and figure it out. And I want to focus on the positives and what I enjoy about it. I enjoy that I can move how I want to move. I can pay my bills how I want to pay my bills, and earn my money, and go to school and further my education, and not be concerned about what someone else thinks about it. I can eat how I want to eat in a healthy way, and not try to be healthy but still cook unhealthy foods. Uh, Today, for instance, I worked all morning, came home, made myself some lunch. Uh, then I went back out, worked some more. Then I went to Jay's Crab Boil and I got me some crab legs, and came home and I sat, watched a movie while I ate my dinner, and there's peace. I have peace. And it's quiet. And even when Layla's here, we have peace and there's harmony with us. And it was a process to get here. Everything that we go through in our lives is a process. So if you are in pain right now, if you're suffering a loss of any kind, or especially change, when we have to face change, it's, we get comfortable. I know I got comfortable in that relationship, so comfortable that when it got bad, I'd rather stay in what was familiar and comfortable than to leave. And I started making efforts to leave, though, because I did fill out that application for the apartment that got me here, because I did recognize, okay, I want to stay. I want my marriage to work. I do. But I can't be the only one who wants that. I cannot make a person want what I want. Only that person knows what's best for them. And though I'm disappointed, it had to be done. Um, but again, what I want to say is don't be afraid. Now, 2 years later, I mean, it's okay to be afraid, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be. Everything you need, you have inside of you. Everything you need, you have inside of you to be successful. All of your dreams, all of your purpose is here. Everything is already here. You are fully equipped to go forward and to start over. And I had to learn that. And I pray to hold on to this message, because I'm sure that if I, as long as I continue living, there's going to be even more situations where I have to go forward and I have to start over. And I just want to remind myself, don't be afraid, but it's okay to be afraid. Just keep pushing anyway. Keep pushing anyway. Keep getting up every day, because I kept getting up every day, even in it was, whew, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't said that I had to write down on paper. I'm here now, and guess what my weekend is like? I'm gonna get up, make myself a smoothie, honey, to start my day for breakfast. I'm gonna go out and work. Then I have a women's meeting at my church with the ladies. Then after the meeting, I'm gonna go get my hair done, take care of me. And then at night, I am the host of an open mic down at way down yonder's beignets, honey. And I love the ladies there. And she asked me if I would host it this month, and I was like, yes, of course I'll host it. And it's a wonderful community of people that I have that love and care about me, and they encourage me and they want to see me do well, and vice versa. And then, on Sunday, I'm going to get up, go to church. There's an open mic that afternoon. And then I'm going to go out and work some more until it's time to come home and get my rest, because my first day of work is Monday. And I'm so excited. Like, what? And that's why I say, yes, you don't have to be afraid. But if you are afraid, it's okay to be afraid. But just keep getting up, because if I didn't keep getting up, this wouldn't be my life right now. If I didn't push anyway through a really tough time. I think the toughest time I ever went through in my 20s. Ooh. And I wanted to lay down and give up. I wanted to curl up in a ball and just ignore it all. I even thought that me not being on this earth would be okay, even for Layla. I was thinking I was so insignificant that my daughter would be okay without me. And that is far from true. I love my daughter. She loves me, and she needs me, and she needs to see me continue to move forward. She needs to see that. She needs to see her mother deal with her stuff, so when she gets older, she can deal with her stuff too. So that I can be equipped to give her the advice in order for her to push through her trials that she's going to go through to make her a better woman than me. So I'm not going to, I'm going to wrap this up, because I didn't want to be long-winded. Some people don't want to sit through long videos. You want to get to the point. But again, it's okay to be afraid, but push through it anyway. Okay? The life you want is on the other side of your fear. And I'm doing and living a life that years ago I only dreamed about. And yes, it's not like bright lights, I'm a movie star type of life, but it's a life by my own means, that I'm learning what makes Sabrina happy, and that I choose to be happy. Even though when it doesn't seem right, I have to choose happiness. And I choose it. I choose it every day. I choose me. I choose God. I choose to be the best woman I can be for my daughter's sake. And you could do it too. And I just want you to be encouraged and know that you're not alone. Whatever you're going through, you will get to the other side of it. You just got to keep pushing through it. One more thing, and I'm going to post this. I am. I was going through my videos, because I have a lot of videos in which I do this type of talking to myself, or I vent, but I wasn't posting them online at the time. I was just, keeping them on my phone. And I found the folder, and I think I mentioned earlier, it was like 5 videos. And in the video, I was sitting there telling myself, and I looked so busted and beaten down. I stopped caring about myself, and I was like, I'm going to lose my husband. He's the best person in my life right now, my biggest support, and he's tired of me, and I'm tired of me too. And then there was another video 2 weeks later in which I said that he told me that he wasn't sure if he could love and accept me for who I am. And I said, I'm just disappointed that it seems as though I'm going to have to do a lot and change a lot in order for him to accept me. And I was like, I know that he loves me, but he doesn't like me. What, girl? What were you saying? And I be like, man, why do I still, even now, there's still residual things that I deal with, and I'm getting ready to start therapy very soon. But I'm like, I don't get why sometimes we choose to stay in things that don't serve us, situations that don't feed us. TD Jakes, there's this message on YouTube, and if you enjoy listening to him, I would recommend it. It's called Feed What Feeds You. And it talks about the law of reciprocity and why Jesus cursed the fig tree. And he cursed the fig tree because it was not producing. It was not bearing fruit. It was taking, but it wasn't giving back. And TD Jakes was saying that you need to feed what feeds you. And if you don't contribute to that cycle, then that relationship, that situation is going to be cursed. So the marriage was cursed because I wasn't being fed. My perspective, I was just giving and giving. Even when we had problems, and in those videos, I was blaming myself for why my spouse was telling me, I'm tired of you. Saying that, I don't know if I can love you for who you are. And I'm sitting there like, man, what can I do to change this? There's nothing I could have done, and I see that now. Things unfolded the way that it needed to. God let it play out. But I'm so glad that he pulled me out. I'm so glad that Brandon walked away and moved on, and that I did what I needed to be here today. Don't do what I did. Don't stay. Everything has an expiration date. And sometimes, like Medea said, we mix those, we mistake seasonal people for long-term people, and Brandon was just a seasonal person in my life. And I learned a lot, and I'm stronger for it. And you will be too, from whatever situation that you are in. Again, you don't need to be afraid, but it's okay to be afraid. Just keep pushing forward anyway. And that's all I got to say. But have a great night if you're watching this at night, or have a great day if you're watching this later in the day. But just whenever you're watching this, be blessed, be encouraged. You have all that you need to get through it. And even when it hurts and it feels excruciatingly painful, there's purpose. There is purpose. You still have purpose. Keep pushing. If you are alive, that means that your presence on this earth is still needed. And no matter how you may feel, or like you're like, man, I keep making the same mistakes, or man, you are someone's angel. You bring something to this earth by being who you are and by going through what you go through. Someone needs you to keep going, to keep pushing, even when you're afraid. So remember, you're not just doing this for you, you're doing this for others. Others need you to go through what you're going through so they can make it through too. Pay it forward. The law of reciprocity. All right. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll be back. Bye.